interesting class with Dr. Banito this morning. It was very eye-opening and insightful, and I believe it impacted you as well. So this morning, my name is Mrs. Ifeoma Eze, and I'll be taking you on emotional intelligence in consulting. Now, if you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know in the chat room by typing VV, all right? VV, the letters VV, to show that you hear me very, very well. All right, thank you, Anthony Osakwe. I see you. All right, thank you, Emmanuel Paye. Thank you, Imako Michael. Thank you, Eric Annan. Thank you, Emmanuel Awode, Richard Olo, Gunla. Thank you, Juliana. Thank you, Olabimpe Ogun. All right, that tells me that everyone can hear me loud and clear. All right, so my name is Mrs. Ifeoma Eze, and I have a combined years of experience in leadership, administration, and education management. I actually have a background in education admin and planning. I'm passionate about quality assurance, equal access to education delivery. I'm passionate about strategy and leadership, women empowerment, and excellence in organizations. I founded the King's Rubies and Royal Daughters organization to assist women conquer limiting beliefs about themselves in order to maximize destiny while empowering them to discover and fulfill their life's purposes. I am a highly recognized mentor whose books and seminars and experience has helped in a lot of school startups to ensure excellence. I'm an administrator of over 14 years with over 14 years experience, and I'm also the proprietress of World Changes Academy. I'm a licensed teacher with TRCN. I'm a certified leadership and management consultant with IIPM. I'm a published author of books, over several dozens of books. Some of the very popular ones are Preparing for Your Season of Demand, Making an Indelible Mark, The Heart for Greatness, Becoming a Person of Exceptional Value, Treasures in the Trash. I'm also a singer-songwriter. I am the wife to Bishop Delinquency Eze of Zion Heritage Ministries. I'm a mother to 3 incredible boys, David, Daniel, and Dominion. And I have helped a lot of leaders who are passionate about maximizing their potentials. And I thank Dr. Banito and the entire IIPM crew for the opportunity to be speaking to you this morning. Now, our introductions are out of the way. I believe that there are a few things you now know about me. This is especially for those who are meeting me for the first time in class. So I felt I owe you an introduction so you get to know who is talking to you, all right? Now, if you're ready for this class, let me know by typing 11 and then we shoot. If you're ready, let me know. And if you can hear me loud and clear. All right, thank you. That shows me you can hear me. All right, so I'm going to stop this share and then I'll share our main slide for this class. So our topic, the course we are looking at today is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence in consulting. All right, so I'll be sharing a major slide for this course. All right, just give me a few minutes while I get my slide open. All right, so we are looking at emotional intelligence in consulting. When you hear the word emotional intelligence, what really comes to mind? Can I hear from you in the chat room? When you hear emotional intelligence, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? If you can share anything, just let me know in the chat room so that I can read it out, all right? So when you hear emotional intelligence, what comes to mind? Just, there is no wrong and right answer. Don't be afraid. All right. Thank you, Juliana. You said being able to handle your emotions effectively. Powerful. That is it. That is it. All right. Is there another person saying something? Yes. Am I cool? Michael, you said feelings. That is what it is. Good. Anthony Osakwe said emotion management. Exactly. Franklin Osai said your state of mind at all times and even during challenges. That's true. Emmanuel Kwaye said understanding the emotions of ourselves and others. That is what emotional intelligence is all about. Yeah. Karim Janfaru Said said considering the impact of one's action on others. True. David Adedeji said, ability to appropriately and professionally direct your emotion towards achieving a defined purpose. Yes, that's what it is. That's emotional intelligence, all right? Okine Victor said, feeling of empathy to others. True. Olabimpe Ogun said, emotional management. True. Emmanuel Awode said behavioral conduct. That is very, very excellent. And I'm glad you have an idea of what emotional intelligence is all about. Now, before we delve into the definitions of emotional intelligence and the concepts of emotional intelligence, I would like first and foremost to let you know that emotional intelligence is essential in consulting. Now, we all have come here to learn about how to become chartered international management consultants. And there is no way we can effectively do all of this if we don't understand the critical role of emotional intelligence in consulting. Now, let me say this. The success of a consulting firm depends almost entirely on two key value creating resources, which work interdependently. Now, number one key resource that every consulting firm depends upon is what we call the specialist or the technical knowledge of expert individuals. The specialist or technical knowledge of expert individuals. What we're saying by this is that when we want to have our own consulting firm, or when we are about to be hired to work in a consulting firm, one thing comes up, and everybody wants to know what expertise, what level of expertise do you have? What understanding do you have? What is your technical know-how of this individual who wants to consult for our organization? Now, but the second resource is what we call valuable relationship. Valuable relationships with clients. Valuable relationships with clients is the second very key value creating resource that every consulting firm needs. Now, traditionally, consulting firms are very good at developing the first resource. That is the resource called the technical knowledge of expert individuals, the ability to know how, knowing what to do and how to do it, and knowing how to solve a particular problem within the organization. But many of these organizations, many of these consulting firms do not bother to take care of this second key resource, the aspect of valuable relationship with clients. And if they don't do that, the organization will eventually crumble. Individuals are already prepped from school. They're already prepped by society. What certificates do you have? What is the technical know-how? If you listened very well to when Dr. Banito was teaching, he said something. He said that competence is much more valuable than the certificate. The ability to know what to do, the ability to solve the problem, the ability to bring solution to the problems of organization is much more valuable than the certificates you have. And that certificate is just paper until you have the competence required to be able to solve that problem or bring solution to the table. The problems that most firms have is that resource one and the second resource are not mutually exclusive. For a consulting firm to grow and prosper, their technical experts need to be able to apply their specialist knowledge through an ongoing valuable relationship with clients. So we can comfortably say that no matter how powerful or how valuable your organization is, if it is resting on only technical knowledge without having valuable relationship with clients, there is a problem. So if we are not saying that expertise is important, but on its own, that it is not sufficient to create the success of your firm, the success of your organization, the question now comes upon us: what then determines the success of our firm? What then determines the success of our organization? And we have to say it emphatically this morning, that what determines the success of your firm is the ability of your experts to start, nurture, influence, and manage relationships with clients. When we talk about this, what we're saying is we mean that it is how your specialist experts, your technical know-how expert individuals, whatever name you choose to call them, the way they interact with clients is what will distinguish them, and help them to stand out from other potential service providers. So when we're talking about emotional intelligence in consulting, we are looking at how your technical experts react and behave during the essential human interaction elements involved in providing a service or involved in delivering a product. So you see, we can't just talk about technical know-how. We can't just talk about specialist knowledge. We can't just talk about expertise if we fail to talk about that aspect that has to deal with human interaction, because it's a basic element. If you want to deliver any product, if you want to deliver on any service, it is a very basic element that we need to look into. So we can comfortably say at this point that the critical factor for success in consulting is not just expertise, that is the IQ, but emotional intelligence, that is the EI or the EQ. Well, I want to tell you that emotional intelligence will lead to the progress, and it will help every consultant as an individual, and it will help every consulting firm as an organization, and it will help any organization, whether it be a consulting firm that you are managing or not, no matter the organization that you are involved in, no matter your place of work. One thing we must know is that we all interact at one point or the other, irrespective of what our organization is doing, irrespective of what business that you are in, irrespective of what your corporation stands for. Human interaction is essential, and because of that, we need emotional intelligence. It is important not to underestimate the importance of relationships within a consulting firm or within your own organization, especially as it relates with not just external clients, but also people who work within the organization, especially people who work within the organization. See, there are colleagues that you work with, there are people who work in the same organization with you. So we're not talking about just interacting with clients outside. We're also talking about interacting with people that you work with in order to establish your organization, or in order to make the organization progress. The best performing firms have individuals who, despite political and cultural dynamics, are able to work constructively and collaboratively in the best interest of the firm as a whole. So we're not just talking about the clients outside. We're also looking at how people within the organization interact in order to ensure that the organization is progressing, that they are effective in all that they do, and that there is growth. All right, so It is surprising that while many consulting firms continue to invest heavily in technical skills and expertise, relatively few firms put similar emphasis on building the soft skills that create loyalty, mutual trust, and valuable relationships between clients and service providers. So we've seen all around us, emphasis has been placed on what certificate do you have, what degree do you have, what institution has this person gone to. But we have to come to the point where we begin to place this emphasis, not just on institutions that people have gone to, not just on certificates that they have gathered, but on the ability to interact with others. Because there is need for individuals to be able to find common ground in order to take decisions, especially as it deals with complex partnership dynamics and other aspects of human interaction. And that's what we call emotional intelligence. That's all we're trying to say here. One thing I will also want you to know before we go into our slides is that emotional intelligence is a skill. And why is it a skill? It's a skill because you can be trained in it. You can practice it. You can learn it. It can be developed and it can be improved upon. So I would rightly say here that there is no human being who was born with emotional intelligence, all right? So can we just type in the chat room and say, emotional intelligence is not an innate quality? Can we just type it in the chat room? What I mean by that is that you were not born with it. That's what I mean by that. You were not born with it. So can we just type in the chat room, emotional intelligence is not an innate quality. It is something you develop. It's a skill that you have to develop, that you have to work on. Let's type it together in the chat room. If you have been in my class before, you know that I always like my class to be very, very interactive. All right. Yes. Thank you, Juliana. EI is not an innate quality. Yes. Eric Anand said EI is not innate intelligence. Absolutely. All right. One mate, Imbi, said emotional intelligence is not an innate quality. Yeah. David Usman, emotional intelligence is not an innate quality. Yes. I see you, Emmanuel Awode. Yes. I see you, Titus London. I see you, Mutala Abdul Mumin. I see you, Zamaka Okeke. Yes. Thank you, Okine Victor and Emmanuel Enitan. So emotional intelligence is not an innate quality. You are not born with it. It's something you train for. It's something you practice. It's something you develop. It is something you improve upon. So ultimately, everyone can choose to learn and refine their core skills and behaviors, especially as it relates with emotional intelligence. The critical factor for success in consulting, if you want to be a consultant, if you want to consult for a firm, or you want to own a consulting firm, as the case may be, the critical factor for success in consulting is not just only expertise. Expertise is good. Expertise is essential, but then you have to add emotional intelligence to it. So while technical knowledge and expertise are prerequisites, the ability to start, nurture, influence, and manage relationships both externally with clients and internally with colleagues is what will differentiate your firm and your people from the rest. That is what will make you different. That is what will stand you out. That is what will make people desire to come do business with you, as against other people who have the same potential to render the same service. So you have to tell yourself, what do you really want? What do you really want out of your organization? What do you really want as a consultant? What do you really want as a professional, as an executive in your organization? Because you need to come to this knowledge of the benefits of the critical role of EI in your organization. So while knowledge and experience can get individuals through the door, an ability to listen, an ability to adapt, to collaborate, to empathize, and to build trust is what will set your firm apart from competitors and set your individuals apart and distinguish individuals from their peers. So what stands an individual out is emotional intelligence. What stands an organization or a firm out is emotional intelligence. That is why we cannot but overemphasize on the need for everyone, every executive, every superior, every subordinate, everybody to have what we call emotional intelligence. All right. So giving employees the opportunity to learn, to practice, to develop emotional intelligence will lead to clients actively seeking out a consulting firm to solve their problems and demonstrate to existing clients that these are a trustworthy partner to whom they can refer their own contacts. Have you noticed that what makes people refer their contacts to you as an organization, to you as an individual, is more when I say it is more of the way they feel about it. It's more of the way the emotions they connect with how they were treated in the workplace. 2 weeks ago, we're having a lecture here on this platform with Dr. Larry Phillips, and he said that buy-in is more emotional than logical. How many of you remembered it? Were you in the class? If you're in the class, please let me know in the chat room. If you're in that class, let me know in the chat room that buy-in is more emotional than it is logical. And if you are not in the class and you can hear me, please just type it in the chat room. Buy-in, people buying into you, people buying into what you're doing is more emotional than logical. So there are many things you have shopped for, you have bought for, many things you have tried to do, not basically because they all make sense. They may have made sense, but then at one point you like it, you need it, you feel. So all of these adjectives is pointing to the fact that there is an emotional aspect of you wanting to go back to the same person who shaved your bread. You want to go back to the same person who made that weave on for you. You want to go back to the person who sewed that same clothes for you because you like how they made you feel. Basically, it may not be because of the quality of the clothes. I know the quality of the clothes may be part of it. The quality of the work might be part of it, but then you like how they made you feel. You like the feeling you got when you went there. Dr. Benito asked a question earlier today, and somebody said ambience is one of the key KPIs that he wants to see when he goes to a particular place or an organization. But you see that some things that we do are based on our emotions. Some of the things that we buy is not just because we need them, but sometimes it's because we like how the person talked to us or how the person was able to relate with us. So while knowledge and experience can get individuals through the door, an ability to listen, an ability to empathize will set you apart. It will make you different. It will distinguish you. Thank you. Yeah, I see you, Anthony Osakwe, Juliana Ozamako Keke, Karim Jafaru, One Mate Imbi, Okine Victor, Omokudu, Eruanga, please forgive me for not pronouncing your name well, and Omar Usman. Yes, thank you so much for saying it. Yes, buy-in most times is more emotional than logical. So it is time for consulting firms, it is time for consultants to begin to recognize that there is nothing soft about soft skills. They are key, they are important, they are necessary. All right. In an industry where 84% of new businesses come from referrals, emotional intelligence is more important than ever. Most of the people who will subscribe to what you are doing, most of the people who want you to deliver services to them, most of the people who want to work with you are people who have connected with you emotionally. The way you were able to listen to them, the way you were able to empathize with them, the way you were able to collaborate with them, the way you were able to build trust, the way they feel they can trust you, and because they feel they can trust you, they can easily refer someone else to you because they have over time, you and them have been able to develop trust in the business. So that is why emotional intelligence is key. People who have neglected emotional intelligence and overemphasized on intellectual quotients have missed it in several ways. The man called Daniel Goleman was the person who popularized the term emotional intelligence in 1995. Daniel Goleman even wrote a book, and the book, he titled it Emotional intelligence, why it can be more important than intellectual quotient. So in that book, he said something very striking, something very, very, very striking. He said that IQ can amount to 20% of your success as an individual in an organization, but that your EQ can amount to 80% of your success. Have you ever wondered why the smartest is not the one who is preferred? Why the one who is the most intelligent is not the one who is preferred? Because sometimes for people who are very highly cerebral and highly intelligent, there is this air of arrogance that follows them. So you begin to get put off by them. So you see, sometimes the one who knows everything, the one who knows more, might not be the one who is preferred, might not be the one who is getting referrals, might not be the one who is getting advanced in that job. It might be the person who might be getting advanced, might be that one who knows how to listen to people, that one who knows how to compliment people, that one who knows how to interact with people, that one who knows how to relate to people, who knows how to collaborate with them, who knows how to get their trust, all right, make them trust them. So this is why we are looking at emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is a must for you to carry out your responsibilities, even as a management consultant. Your interaction with people every now and then requires your capability to handle your emotions in the most professional way. There are times when clients might even want to provoke you, but you have to be in firm control of your emotions so that you'll be able to relate with them in the most professional way. So emotional intelligence, according to Daniel Goleman, refers to the person's extent of emotional awareness and control. So whenever we're talking about emotional intelligence, we're simply talking about the person's extent of what emotional awareness and control. It is a primary predictor of success in the workplace, of success in your organization, of success in your company, of success as a management consultant. An indicator of this fact is the fact that there are many highly intelligent management consultant applicants everywhere who don't even get the job because simply they don't have the ability to adapt to the nature of the consulting field. Some even get the job, but they don't last because they find it difficult to interact with people even after they have gotten the job. So they don't understand the value of hard work and they can't handle the pressure and the stress that comes from work. They have failed to develop the right attitude for the right situation. And as a result of this, they fail. They fail colossally, despite their highly packaged certificates, despite the number of professional courses they have gone through, but because they do not have what we call the emotional intelligence, they fail. They fail. As a consultant, you'll be engaged in projects where you need to show a high level of emotional and social intelligence. For example, you might be sent to a client to help them restructure their organization. Now, when you get there, the way you talk to them, you have to empathize with them, all right? You need to talk to different people within the organization. You need to learn how to get along with different people quickly, and you need to know how to talk to them in a way that they'll be willing to allow you to help them with their project. Let me ask this question. Has any of us here seen somebody who needs help? This person needs help, but that same person is unwilling to receive help because of the way the person was talking to him or the way the person was making it look as if he or she has become their God. Have you ever noticed something like that? Even you, let us bring it home. You as the person, there is a kind of person that even though this person has a solution to your problem, you will still want this person to help you because this person is not connecting with you on an emotional level. How many of you relate to what I'm saying? If you do, please let me know in the chat room. Just say yes. If you do, just let me know in the chat room. Just say yes. If this person has a solution to your problem, but you are unwilling to let this person help you because they are not relating with you. Yes, thank you, David Adedeji. Yes, thank you, Uzamako KK. Yeah, thank you, Emmanuel Awode. Thank you, Juliana. Thank you, Warmate Inbi. Thank you, Eric. And yes, because the person is not connecting with you emotionally, and that's what we're talking about. If you must succeed as a consultant, you need a high level of emotional quotient. You need to be empathetic, and at the same time, you need to be confident and you need to be decisive. You cannot be all of this if you do not understand who you truly are. So let us get into the slides that we have today as we look at emotional intelligence. I believe we are going to get a lot out of this class. And if you feel so, let me know in the chat room again. All right, so let's go. Lots of productivity, low morale, poor teamwork, work-related accidents, all of these are usually a function of inability to manage your your emotions in the workforce. All right, so when you see people, there is low productivity in the workplace, there is a low morale. Even as a consultant, you're not willing to work with your people. You think you know everything. All right, as the consultant, every other person who is working with you is wasting their time. No, we can't afford to behave in that manner. All of this is a function of inability to manage our emotions, and this is not helpful. So if this is the case, we need to know what emotional intelligence is all about. It's about harnessing emotions of both yours and that of others, and to use them to everyone's mutual advantage. So we all are emotional, all right? Whether you show yours or you don't show yours, whether you are the kind of person who doesn't smile or the kind of person who is always bottled up, every one of us are humans made of emotion. We have emotions, and if you're always sad, sadness is an emotion. If you're always happy, happiness is an emotion. So whichever way it is, we all have emotions. And then when we're talking about emotional intelligence within an organization, what we're trying to say is, how do we harness all of these different emotions? How do we bring together everybody's emotion and make sure that we use it to the greatest advantage of this organization? That is how it comes in. That's how it concerns you as a management consultant. So somebody who is already here and is asking, what am I doing emotional intelligence when I should be looking at goods, services, production, sales, marketing? You see that this is a very, very key. It is essential, and it relates to both marketing. It relates to how you market, how you do your products, how you release your product to the people in order to create buy-in. So this is very, very key. Now let's look at the definition of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize the meanings of emotions and their relationships, and to reason and problem solve on the basis of them. Let's take another one. Emotional intelligence is involved in the capacity to perceive emotions, assimilate emotion-related feelings, understand the information of those emotions, and manage them. Now, if what I just read out is too complex for you, let me just break it down in the simplest way that you can understand it. Emotional intelligence is simply understanding your emotions and understanding how it affects others, understanding other people's emotions, and then understanding how to have good relationships with them. Let me repeat what I said. Emotional intelligence, according to the layman, in the easiest way you can understand, is that you have to recognize and be aware of your own emotions. Know who you are. Know the kind of person you are. How many of you know that we have what we call temperaments? And now we have 4 basic temperaments. Now, if you know these 4 basic temperaments, let me know in the chat room. I'll try not to say any one of them until I see what you say in the chat room. Do you know about temperaments? Let me see what you already know. So if you know about the temperament, yes, Eric Annan said yes. Let me hear. What are the 4 categories of temperaments? Yes, Damilola Olani. So tell me about it. Yes. Uzamaka Okeke, sanguine. That is 1. Now, who can tell me about the rest? Choleric. Yes, Uzamaka. And then 2 more. 2 more. 2 more. Yes, Emmanuel Awode, choleric. Yeah. 2 more. Phlegmatic. Yeah, thank you, Damilola Olani. Yes. Yes, Anthony Osakwe, you got it right, melancholy. So we have 4 basic temperaments, and most of us are a shades, we are combinations of this temperament. So some can be San Mel or San Flag and rest of that. Some are called call flex, no, call flex doesn't go together. So call mel or mel call, depending on the combination that you're made up of. So we basically have the sanguine, the choleric, the phlegmatic, and the melancholy. And these are different temperaments. Now, every one of us have one of these as our major temperament. And if you know what your own major temperament is, it will be easy for you to recognize. Be aware of who you truly are. Be aware of your own emotions. And then when you are aware of that, you will now know how to relate with other people. When you are also aware of other people's emotions and their temperament, you will also know how well to relate with them so that you can have good relationship, so that you can manage your relationship with them well. Have you seen people who are so hard to please, so hard to relate with? When you come to them, you're always trying to be too careful. You're always trying to, you don't even know what you say and you offend them. Please, if you've ever seen anybody like that around your life or at your workplace, please let me know in the chat room. Just let me know with a yes. That will suffice. Let me know. If there are people, they're so complicated, you want to say good morning, you don't even know which one to say so that you don't get them offended. Yes. Adamu Yakubu, yes. David Usman, yes. So you see, they are very difficult. Yes, okay. They are very difficult, and it becomes so difficult to deal with them. Such people, they have not recognized their emotions, and they don't understand how their emotions affect others. And they are not empathetic to also understand that you, in as much as they have emotions, you also have emotions, and that you need to know how to relate well with them. So as a consultant, it is very key, even when you are pitching your market or pitching your business or whatever it is you're doing, even when you're trying to find a job, even when you're applying for a particular position, you need to key in into the emotions of your interviewers. You need to key in into the emotions of the people you want to market. You need to key in into the emotions of the people you're relating with in order to have a very good business deal with them. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about emotional intelligence. That's all we are trying to say on emotional intelligence. So as the pace of change increases and our workplaces make greater demands of both our cognitive, emotional, and physical resources, emotional intelligence will continue to emerge, not as something just nice to have, but as something, an increasingly important set of must-have skills. If you must excel, you must have emotional intelligence as one of the very necessary skills that you need. Believe you me, someone who has emotional intelligence without even having a lot of technical know-how will succeed more in life, much more than somebody who just has only the technical know-how without emotional intelligence. Because as long as it's not only machines you are going to be working with, as long as you're going to work with individuals and human beings, oh, you need emotional intelligence in order to relate well with them. So I'll be listing a few personal benefits of emotional intelligence. So how does emotional intelligence benefit you as a person? As a person, you have greater career success. As a person, you'll have stronger personal relationships. As a person, you have increased optimism and confidence in who you are, and you have better health. So we are saying that if you recognize your emotions and you know who you are, and you know how your emotions affect others, and you know how what you do affects others, how you feel affects others, you understand how people feel equally, and you know how what they are feeling affects other people around them and affects the relationship that you have with them, you will have greater career success, because everybody will say, oh, that guy is a good person, he deserves a promotion, oh, this one, he has been very, very helpful to this organization because of that. So you have stronger personal relationships, you can relate with people without making them offended. Okay, so you flow with people, you carry people along, and then you'd have a lot of confidence in yourself. You'll be pessimistic. You'll be the kind of person that is always filled with negativity and why things are not working and the rest of that. And then your health will be better, all right? You are not bitter. Because you're not bitter, you'll be better, all right? You have better health. You feel nice. You will be okay. All right, so these are the reasons why there is a need for you to have emotional intelligence as a person. Very, very essential. So let's talk about the professional benefits of emotional intelligence. As much as it benefits you personally, it also benefits you professionally. And let's look at some of the professional benefits. All right, number one, there is effective leadership skills. Oh, how many of you know that leader that is so easy to follow? That leader that makes followership easy. Why? Because he understands his emotions. He does not engage in transferred aggression like many people do. I know some of us here are parents, and we've developed this terrible habit of transferring aggression from the workplace, transferring aggression from our spouses to the children. And you beat your children for no reason. The boy did not do anything to you. He just passed. He just ran past. And every child will certainly run and just give him a knock when he said he didn't do anything to you. The boy was just exercising his freedom of movement, and he just gave him a knock on the head. See, the transferred aggression does not only happen even as parents. In the workplace, a leader, a superior who is not able to handle his emotions well may have had an issue with a fellow driver on the highway, and then maybe somebody bashed his car bump or something, and then they bring it to the workplace. Or maybe his wife provoked him, or her husband provoked her, and when they come to the office, they are shouting on everybody as if everyone is the cause of their personal problem. So a leader who is able to manage his or her own emotions well will invariably become an excellent leader, because they are in firm control of their emotions. So having emotional intelligence makes you an effective leader, makes you a leader with very effective skills. All right. So it also improves communication. When when you're trying to tune in into other people's feelings, you will know how to talk to them. You will know how to relate with them. You will not shout on people unnecessarily. You will not talk down on people. You will know that irrespective of your own experiences or where you're coming from, that there are other people that you need to also respect the fact that people are also coming from other places, and they also have different experiences from where they're coming from. So you have improved communication. You're able to communicate effectively. It also creates less workplace conflict. Imagine a particular workplace where people are fighting. Every day there is a fight. Every day they are breaking bottles or breaking breaking printers and the rest of that. Who would want to dwell in that kind of environment? Who would want to work in that kind of environment? Nobody. So there will also be better problem solving skills. You're able to bring solutions because you have good emotional intelligence, and there will be likelihood of promotion. All right. So you'll be promoted easily, you'll be moved from one step to another because you're not cantankerous, you're not filled with acrimony and the rest of that. So these are a few of the benefits, and these professional benefits. These are a few of the professional benefits. Now, let's look at the 5 crucial competencies of emotional intelligence. The 4 crucial competencies of emotional intelligence. All right. So Daniel Goleman was able to have some of these 5 constructs, and they are very important in management consulting firms, or for you as a management consultant. These constructs, these crucial competencies are essential, and we'll be taking them one after the other. So yeah, we have self-awareness, and then we have self-regulation, and thirdly, we have self-motivation, then we have empathy, and we have effective relationship or social skills. So let's take it one after the other. You can jot down the little corrections I'm making here. So self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation, then empathy, and then effective relationship or social or social skills. All right. So these are very, very key for you to be able to relate with others. The one that's called empathy, some other people also call it social awareness, like being aware of other people's emotions. We're going to be taking them one after the other. Now let's look at self-awareness. Self-awareness. When we say self-awareness, what comes to your mind? Can somebody tell me in the chat room what comes to your mind when we say self-awareness? What comes to your mind when we hear self-awareness? So talk to me, everyone. What comes to mind when we say self-awareness? Yes, Anthony Asakwe, man, know thyself. That's just what it is. You have to know who you are. You have to really know yourself. The more we know about ourselves, the better we are able to control and choose what kind of behaviors we will display in a work setting. Without self-awareness, our emotions can blind us and guide us to do things or become people that we really don't want to be. Yes. Mutala Abdul Mumin, appreciating who you are as a person. Of course. Okine Victor, analysis of oneself, your strengths and your weaknesses. Exactly. So when we're talking about self-awareness, you need to be self-aware. You need to analyze yourself, know who you are, know your emotions, know your temperaments, know how you are feeling part-time. Because if you want to pursue a career in management consulting, you need to manifest this skill. Sorry, even before the start of the recruitment process, even before the start of your consulting firm, you need to know yourself. You can easily assess, you can easily assess if a job is meant for you. You can easily assess if a particular assignment is something you can carry out. You can easily assess if a project is something you want to work on when you know yourself. When you know yourself and you get involved in an interview, you can readily answer the interviewer's question when asked about your strengths, your weaknesses, your abilities, and your limitations. Because self-awareness is your key to self-development. It is a very important factor for any kind of job that you are doing. You need to know who you are. You need to understand who you are. Understand your temperaments, whether you are sanguine, choleric, melancholy, phlegmatic. It will help you to relate with people. If you're a sanguine, you know that, there are times when people begin to feel like you're laughing too much or talking too much or becoming too chatty. If you're choleric, you know that there'll be time when people begin to feel that you are being too bossy, you are being too domineering, and you step down on it. If you're melancholic, you know that you need to step up your emotions and try to be happy and feel happy and cheer up and not being so depressive all the time. And if you're phlegmatic, you know that sometimes people want to hear you have a say. It's not everything. Oh, is it black? Black is okay. Is it white? White is okay. People want you. Sometimes people want you to know what you really think. They really want to know your opinions. So if you are self-aware, it will take us to the second step that is called self-regulation. Self-regulation. Self-regulation is equal to self-management. So when we learn to manage our emotions well, we become masters of mood management. We are able to handle stress and communicate more constructively and consistently. And as a result, we appear more level-headed and trustworthy to others. Signing an employment contract with a top-tier management consulting firm will definitely bring heaps of changes to your daily activities. The pressure from analyzing organizational issues and generating recommendations for improvement will push you to your boundaries. You'll be stressed out. Now, this requires you to manage your stress under pressure. As a management consultant, you need to know how to manage your stress under pressure. Moreover, you will be swamped with so much work. So you need to exercise your drive to accomplish and achieve things. You might even have to work extended hours for consecutive days. But if you understand the value of discipline, if you understand the value of self-gratification, you will appreciate the work results much more better. So I'm talking to management consultants who are already practicing and some who are management consultants in the making. You need to know how to manage yourself. You need to know how to control yourself. When you self-regulate, you don't say things you don't mean. You don't act in a way you don't want to act because you are in control of your emotions. You're not allowing what we call emotional hijack. You are not allowing your emotions to be hijacked. All right. So you are in control. You are in firm control of the emotions. You are in the steering wheel of your life. You are in the steering wheel of your emotions. You say what you mean to say, and you act in the way you mean to act. You won't just behave anyhow, and then after you say, oh, so sorry, it's the devil that made me to do this. No, you are in control of what you do part time. And like we said earlier, the first competency or the first construct of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. After self-awareness comes self-regulation. Because if you don't know yourself, how do you regulate what you don't know? If you don't know yourself, how do you manage what you don't know? So after you have understood yourself, that is self-awareness, then you are regulating yourself, you are managing yourself, that is self-regulation. You are able to motivate yourself. Listen to me, people, there will be times when you won't have clients, there will be times when business will be bad. All of us just came out from the very terrible lockdown of the COVID-19, and in some places around the world there is still lockdown ongoing. And during the COVID-19 heat period, it was terrible. A lot of people lost their jobs. Some people couldn't do any job. Even some consultants were not consulted because people entered survival mode. Okay, they were trying to even survive and keep a level head above water. Okay, so a lot of businesses suffered, a lot of organizations suffered, some closed down, some could not meet up with rent and the rest of that. So you see, there are obstacles, there are setbacks, there are things that would depress you as a business person, as an executive. Some top executives were even sent away from their jobs. Some organizations, we learned of a bank that sacked more than half of their staffs. Okay, so when we see all of this things happen, we see that there is need for self-motivation. And part of your emotional intelligence is your ability to motivate yourself, to tell yourself that there is still a road ahead of you, that there is still a future, a bright future ahead of you, that where you are is not where you are ending, that your story does not end there, that your tomorrow will be better than your today. All right, so employees and superiors who are highly self-motivated realize that every job has its less enjoyable moments, but they plow ahead. Okay, they accept change and they are more flexible to change. They have better attitudes, they persist towards goals despite obstacles and setbacks. So you need to be self-motivated intrinsically from the inside, because in all honesty, if you're waiting for somebody to encourage you, they may not give you the encouragement you want, especially from family, especially from friends. People you expect to support you may not support you. So that is why you need to motivate yourself. You need to be strong for yourself. It is a proof, a product of emotional intelligence. If you are highly emotional intelligent, you will know how to tell yourself, get up. All right, that you failed may not be your fault, but that you remained where you failed is entirely your fault. That you failed in life is not your fault. So when you have failed, please dust yourself up and get up and tell yourself, I will do it, I will make it again, I will achieve it again. When Dr. Banito was teaching this morning, he said that there are 1,001 opportunities for you to do something. You can have 100 streams of income as long as you are able to think ahead, as long as you're able to push yourself forward. Being pessimistic, being negative all the time is a sign of low emotional intelligence. Being depressed, thinking of how to kill yourself or commit suicide is a proof of low emotional intelligence. All right, you don't allow yourself to degenerate to that level of mental health. You have to, if your emotional intelligence is high, it will be hard for such mental sickness and emotional depression to get close to you. So life is hard, there's no doubt about it, but you can succeed despite the hardness of life. All right, and for everyone here, your own case is different. As long as you're connected to IIPM, your own case is different. All right, let's continue. So now we have talked about self-awareness, we've talked about self-regulation, and then we talked about how self-awareness and self-regulation can help you to self-motivate yourself. The next thing is to talk about others, empathy. Empathy is also social awareness. Once we become more honest and intentional with our own emotions, it is then time to look outward. Emotional intelligence is about tuning into our feelings as well as the feelings of others around us. So we begin to learn how to see things from other person's perspective so that we can relate with them better. Sorry. So if we are not able to see things from other people's perspectives, it becomes a problem, because they may be right from their own perspective and you may be right from your own perspective. How many of you can see the two men facing each other? If you can see, just let me know in the chat room. If you can see the two men facing each other in the picture up there. Just let me know. If you can see the two men facing each other, let me know. Yes, yes, yes. All right. I'm glad that you can. Now, assuming that we have the letter, assuming we have a letter, a number 6 in front of them. In the front of, before one of them, that number will be reading 6, right? And before the other man, that number will be reading 9. How many of you understand what I'm trying to say? So from one man's perspective, the number on the ground is 6. And from the other man's perspective, the number on the ground is 9. Now, if this one says the number is 6 and the other one says the number is 9, which of them are right? Which of them are right? If assuming that there is a number 6 from this man's perspective and this other man, there is a number 9 in front of him, which of them are right? Thank you, David Adedeji. Both of them are right. Emmanuel Awode, yes. It's just individual differences because of where they are positioned. They are not able, they're seeing it correctly from both ends. Yes, Karim Jafaru, both. Yeah. Pius Benjamin, exactly, both. Damilola Olani, thank you. Both of them are right, because we have to learn how to see things from another person's perspective so that we can relate with them much better. They are both seeing it from different sides. And emotional intelligence requires that we learn to tune into other people's feelings so that we can understand things from their own perspective. Since you won't be working alone as a management consultant, you need to get a feel of the people around you. And you can do so with empathy. Listen to your clients when they communicate to you. What are their non-verbal cues telling you? How about their facial expression and tone of voice? This construct, this competency is very helpful and will help you to analyze the unexpressed needs of your clients. For instance, the top management may instruct you to improve employee productivity through system review. But as you reach out to the employees, you might see that it might not be system review that is the problem or the cause of the inefficiency in the organization. You might just discover that what the challenge they're having is because of the level of the pay, that the pay is the problem. But if you're not able to tune into people's emotions, you may not understand and know this. And if you're not able to tune into their emotions and understand what is really happening, you'll be a very bad consultant. You'll not be able to do a very good work. So as a consultant, as a management consultant, whether you're working for yourself in your consulting firm, whether you're working in another person's consulting firm, or whether you're working freelance, whichever way, you need to use this skill called empathy. And that will take us to the final one, the effective relationship management or social skills. When you have successfully used your when you have successfully understood your emotions, that is self-awareness, and you have regulated them, and you have motivated yourself, and you have tuned into people's feelings, that's empathy, you will be able to have very good relationships with others. You will be able to manage relationships well and professionally. You'll be able to have very good social skills. So mastering the abilities of self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation, and empathy, they all pave the way for attaining a greater skill in handling relationships. So in order to be effective in our teams and organization, we need to bring these skills together to become socially intelligent and emotionally intelligent. So that is it about the 4 competencies of emotional intelligence. When all of this has happened, we call it relationship management. So as you climb the ladder of management consulting career, you must develop higher levels of social skills. You must develop higher levels of relationship management, because you'll be tasked to coach, you'll be tasked to inspire, and you'll be tasked to lead a team of either juniors or interns. And to be able to do this work excellently and perform this responsibility, you must know how to bring out the best in your team. If there is any conflict in the team, you should be able to spot it and resolve it. And you must handle your team professionally and encourage feedback and open discussion. Doing these things will maintain smooth relationships among the group members and create what we call effective relationship management. Now, this kind of intelligence is not innate, like we said earlier, but it is acquired. It is like learning a sport or learning a language. It will take time for you to embed it within your system. So while you are preparing for your management consulting position, or while you're already having this management consulting position, it is important that you start preparing for this job cognitively, emotionally, because you need emotional intelligence in order to do this job excellently. So what are some effects of poor emotional intelligence? There's withdrawal and social problems, anxiety, depression, attention or seeking for attention or thinking problems, delinquency and aggression, unnecessary fights, put downs, name calling at school or at work, poor parent-child relationship, poor teacher-child relationship, poor therapist-child relationship. All of these are proofs of low emotional intelligence. Now let's look at this table. Let me know if you can see the table. This is just like a summary of everything we've been trying to say. So on the left, you have the self-recognition, and then on the right, you have the social recognition. On the left, you have self-regulation. On the right, you have social regulation. So what we're saying in essence is that if you're able to recognize, have good self-recognition, you'll be able to also recognize other people's emotions well. If you're able to self-regulate your emotions, you'll be able to also manage other people's relationships and regulate your relationship with other people. So before we can have social recognition, you must have self-recognition. Before we can have social regulation, you must have self-regulation. And when we talk about self-awareness, we're talking about self-confidence, we're talking about emotional self-awareness, we're talking about accurate self-assessment. And then when we talk about social awareness, we're talking about having empathy, organizational awareness, knowing what your organization needs from you, service orientation. When we talk about self-regulation, we're talking about ability to self-control. Okay, we're talking about trustworthiness, we're talking about conscientiousness, adaptability, achievement, drive to succeed, initiative. And we're talking about social regulation. We're talking about ability to influence others positively, ability to become an inspirational leader, develop others, influence others, build bonds, teamwork, and collaboration. All right, so how does this affect leadership? Yes, Karim Jafari said, this means that as a practicing consultant, one must have no room for bitter relationships. Exactly, with both internal and external clients. That's what we're saying. You don't have room for it because you depend on referrals to succeed. So you need to end every relationship. If the relationship must end, let it end on a good note, all right? So that they might even be the ones offending you, but because you're able to handle your emotions, you don't let out. Okay, don't say things that you live to regret. So you handle those relationships professionally. So as it relates with leadership, if you handle emotions well, all right, so there'll be self-alignment, you understand yourself, there's resiliency, and then you'll be able to integrate well with others. Okay, you'll be able to work well with others. There's good relationship skills, there's good communication, coaching and mentoring is effective, actualizing on vision is effective. Invariably, when all these things are at work, we'll have customer orientation, business acumen, project leadership, management of change. All of this will be effective. So as an emotional, intelligent individual, your leadership will be easy. Your effective leadership will be easy. All right, Ahmed Abdullahi, I recognize that you're raising your hand. For now, I can take chats from the chat room, but at the end of this class, I'll be taking your question or your contribution or whatever it is that is the reason why you're raising your hands, okay? So that I can maximize the time I have left. Yes, Franklin Osai is concurring with Karim. He said, yes, maturity plays a key role. Open-mindedness and ability to get along and manage conflicts while focused on your deliverables. Exactly. I'm really excited about interactions going on in this class. It shows that we are all following, and I'm really excited about that. So when you are highly emotionally intelligent, what will happen in essence is that you'll be able to listen to and employ your emotions for better decision making. You'll be more intentional in your actions. You'll be able to create an environment where people want to work. How many of you know that there's an environment people don't want to work in? Very, very, very toxic environment. People don't want to work there. So when you're emotionally intelligent, you show that you care and you build trust by displaying sensitivity and concern. All right. You use your energy and enthusiasm to motivate others while tempering negative responses to distressing situations. So as we begin to conclude on this particular course, there are simple and powerful tips that will help you to become more emotionally intelligent. Number one, take time every day to appreciate what is right in the world and what is right in your life. Don't always be pessimistic. Don't always keep looking for all the wrong things that are happening, all the terrible things that are happening to you. No, please don't do that. Take time to appreciate the things that are good in the world, all right? Increase your emotional word vocabulary. Tell yourself, I can, I will, I'll make it, all right? Just be positive. Then talk to others using the iMessage. The iMessage is a technique where you when you want to talk about what somebody has done, you don't go ahead to keep using words that look like you blame the person. So instead of saying you didn't do this work well, you didn't finish your report well, don't you know English? Instead of saying instead of saying all of that, you say something like, I receive the report I was expecting from you. So when you use a lot of the iMessage, it does not look like it's putting the blame on the person, but you are still communicating and passing across the message that you intend to pass across. So number four, yes, Karim, I can, I will, and I can make it. I like it. Very positive. Very, very positive. You keep using such emotional word vocabulary. Now, number four, be your own best friend. When you're waiting for everybody to be your friend, you'll be so disappointed. So be your own best friend. Be your own cheerleader. Be your own greatest fan. All right. Stay in the mirror and tell yourself, oh, you are incredible. You are fantastic. You are the best thing that has happened to this generation. And work towards it. All right. So be your own best friend. Be your own best friend. Now, number five, listen with your heart. All right. Sometimes when we listen with our head, we're trying to make reason for some things. But when we listen to others with our heart, we feel what they are feeling. All right. We celebrate with them when they're celebrating. We feel their pain when they are feeling pain. And there is no greater leader than that. A leader, the best leader is that leader who is able to feel the emotions of the people that he or she is leading. Number six, talk back to yourself. All right. So we are going to engage in soliloquy. All right. So talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself how good you are, how incredible you are, how smart you are, how effective you are, how intelligent you are. All right. Keep talking to yourself. Tell yourself what you want to see in your life, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. What you say to yourself eventually become. You are a product of the words that you spoke yesterday. Yes, Eric Annan, it's all about letting go of the self for the greater good of all. Yeah, that is being empathetic. So talk to yourself. Tell yourself who you want to be tomorrow, because whether you know it or not, whether you agree to this or not, you are where you are as a product of the things you said yesterday, and you'll be where you want to be when you say the right things today. So talk back to yourself. Number seven, tune into your body. Know when your body needs rest. Know when your body needs relaxation. Don't keep pushing yourself and stressing yourself out. And when you do that, it will become very difficult for you to relate with other people. Then smile more. So I know we are in a Zoom class, and then most of us are not seeing each other's faces, but I want you to smile wherever you are. Just smile. You can put a smiley in the chat room. You can type smiles in the chat room. Whatever it is, just let us know that you're smiling. Okay? Yes, Damilola is smiling already. All right. So let us smile more. And as we do this, it will help us help our lives. All right. So as we begin to round up, yes, Susamako KK, I like what you said. He said, I need to intentionally begin to act on all I have learned. I agree with you. I agree with you, Zamaka. Now, Pius Benjamin is smiling. Yes, I see you. All right. So Karim Jafar is also smiling. Yes, I see you. So as we begin to round up this class, take this quotation. Never speak out of anger. Never act out of fear. Never choose from impatience, but wait and peace will appear. This is a quote from Guy Finley. Never speak out of anger, never act out of fear, never choose from impatience, but wait and peace will appear. Yes, Sergi Hubert, Kongai, Moidokana. Yes, you are laughing, not even smiling. I like that. Eric Annan, smile has been healthy dose for me since I knew my journey. That's beautiful. All right, so on a final note, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that makes the difference. It is a quote by Winston Churchill. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that makes the difference, from Winston Churchill. With that, we come to the end of this course on emotional intelligence in consulting. Thank you so much for hanging in with me. I'll be handing over to the coordinator. Let's see if we have a few questions from anybody, and then we'll be rounding up this session. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you, especially for all those who have been interacting back with me on the chat room. I really, really appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, Okine Victor. Thank you, Olabimpe Ogun. Thank you, Eric Annan. Thank you, Seji Hubert. Thank you, Karim Jafaru. Thank you, Pius Benjamin. Thank you, Uzomaka. Okay, thank you, Damilolo Lani. Thank you, Eric Annan. Thank you, Franklin Osai. Yes, thank you, everybody. I may not have mentioned everybody's name. Thank you, Emmanuel Awode. I may not have mentioned everybody's name, but I know you are there. Thank you, Mokudu. Thank you, man. Thank you, Anthony Osakwe. Thank you, Adamu Yakubu. Thank you, David Lan. Thank you, Mutala Abdul. And thank you, David Adedeji. All right, so at this point, I'll be handing over to the coordinator who will be checking if there are questions. Someone raise his hand, Abdul. Raise his hand sometime. If you still have the question, let us know. All right, so
all right.
Are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you very much for that insightful lecture. Thank you for an awesome delivery. All right, so we'll go straight to questions, and we're just going to take two because we have to run. We have a breakout session that we need to have right after this session. So please, we're going to take just two questions, and all you need to do is indicate by a raise of hand, and we're going to take the first two persons. Right? Okay. Okay, I can see David Adedeji. Okay, David Adedeji, you have the floor now. Unmute your mic and go ahead with your question or contribution or whatever. David Adedeji, you can unmute your mic. Hello, David, can you hear me? All right, I think David is having a network issue. So any other person? All right, I will assume that we all understood the lecture and all the lessons from Ms. It was quite interactive, and believe that it was also impactful. Thank you very much, everyone. So we're going to go right to the breakout session, and I'll be handing over to Dr. Banito. Thank you very much. Dr. Banito, it's over to you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful lecture. Mrs. Ifeoma Eze, that was wonderful. That was really wonderful. You did very great work. And I loved what someone said in the chat room during the lecture. I said, that means if you're a consultant, you don't need to be angry. And that is a very wonderful truth. Thank you so much. It has been awesome. Okay, so we will take just a 3 minutes break. Then when we come back, we will go straight into the breakout sessions. Our time is fast spent. We'll just go straight into the breakout sessions. Just 3 minutes. Make sure you take a sip of water. And then in 3 minutes, we are back. Please don't go anywhere, because if you miss out your room, if you miss out your class or miss out your workshop session, you might have to wait till next week to join another one. Okay, so 3 minutes and then we'll be back. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you. please, we also need someone to help us reach out to those in the WhatsApp group. Let us inform them that the workshop session is about to start, so that they don't miss out. And probably by next week they'll be telling us I was not here. So please let us reach out to those of us in the WhatsApp group and let everybody please partake of this workshop, because this is where the most interesting and most practical thing is.